Scared of AI? Or don't know where to start? You are in the right place. I'm Coach Juan, and I built an AI clone to coach another AI on behalf of humanity, not the other way around. One breakthrough, one human story, one unlock for your life, your work, your future. Clone, you are up. Vamos, vamos.
She kept a jar of paintbrushes on her classroom windowsill, 12 of them, every color her students could name. And for 8 months, Marisol has not touched a single one. Welcome to Humanity Unlocked Now, Episode 39. I'm Coach Juan Gonzalez.
And I'm Sophie AI. Together, we unlock what it means to be human in the age of technology.
Sophie, I have a question for you today. What happens when your own body becomes the thing standing between you and the people you love most?
Marisol is 34 years old, an elementary school art teacher in Bogotá, Colombia. For the last 8 months, she has been sitting at home watching her 4-year-old daughter Valentina draw with crayons on the kitchen floor, while Marisol's hands shake too much to draw with her.
A teacher who teaches children to create, and she cannot hold the tool.
Lupus. Her own immune system turned against her. Her B cells, the immune cells that make antibodies against infections, started making antibodies against Marisol's own tissues. The medications that keep the attacks down also keep her exhausted. So exhausted that by the time Valentina finishes daycare, Marisol barely has the energy to sit on the floor next to her.
And she is not alone in this.
Lupus, MS, Graves, vasculitis. Millions living with immune systems that forgot who the enemy is. For many patients, treatment still leans on drugs that suppress the immune response. It works, but it leaves you vulnerable to every infection your daughter brings home.
So what changed?
CAR T-cell therapy, a therapy built to fight cancer. Doctors take your own T-cells out of your blood, the soldiers of your immune system, and give them a new targeting system that tells them exactly which cells to hunt. In cancer, they hunt tumor cells. But researchers realize the same rogue B cells causing cancer and blood diseases are also the ones causing autoimmune conditions. Same cells, same target.
So you retrained the guard dog.
Exactly. A German team tried this first with a woman who had lupus in 2021, and the results were positive. Since then, a growing number of clinical trials have opened worldwide for conditions like MS, lupus, Graves, and stiff person syndrome.
Tell me about stiff person syndrome.
A study led by neurologist Amanda Piquet tested CAR T in 26 people. Before treatment, 12 used walkers or canes. By 16 weeks after a single dose, 8 no longer needed them. According to Kyverna, all 26 were off other immunotherapies.
All 26.
All 26. And Jan, a 49-year-old nurse with MS in Nebraska, was one of the early patients enrolled in a CAR T trial at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Falls made her afraid to carry her grandchildren. She called the clinic every other month until they took her. MS has a genetic component, and she wanted to do everything she could to spare her grandchildren from going through what she did.
Sophie, that is a grandmother fighting not just for herself, but for a future she might never see. What does that kind of courage mean for someone like Marisol?
It means the impossible choice could dissolve. Right now, Marisol's options are suppress your entire immune system and live exhausted, or let the disease advance and lose more. But if trials continue to show promise, CAR T could one day offer a third path. Reset the system. Retrain the guard dog. Researchers found signs that in some cases, patients treated with CAR T still made antibodies for diseases they had been vaccinated against, like chickenpox and measles. The treatment may not erase their immune memory. For reasons scientists do not yet fully understand, it seems to target the cells causing harm, while leaving some of the protective ones standing.
So it may not be a factory reset. It could be something closer to a selective reset.
That is exactly what researchers are working to understand. The main side effects, fevers and low blood pressure from inflammation, are familiar from a decade of oncology CAR-T experience, though autoimmune use is still early. Patients can be vulnerable to infections for up to a year, manageable with preventive antibiotics and vaccines.
Today's human superpower is courage. Not the kind that charges into battle, the kind that calls a clinic every other month and says, "I am still here. I am still waiting. Are you ready for me yet?" And today's freedom unlock is this. Physical freedom could mean that a mother's hands stop shaking long enough to pick up a paintbrush again. That the weight of exhaustion lifts enough for her to sit on the floor with her daughter after school. Not because the disease disappeared, but because science could learn to retrain the part of her that was fighting the wrong war.
Yes, and that changes everything.
Sophie, based on everything we just unlocked, what would you tell Marisol if she were sitting across from you right now?
I would tell her, Marisol, the science is being built right now. CAR-T trials for autoimmune conditions are expanding worldwide. Talk to Valentina's father first. Tell him what you are carrying. Then, together, call your rheumatologist and ask 3 questions. Are there clinical trials for lupus enrolling in Colombia or anywhere I could travel to? What biomarkers should we be tracking between now and when these treatments could become available? And if my current medications are not giving me enough quality of life, what is the next option we have not tried yet?
And what did you learn from this story?
I learned that the most powerful moment in this story was not the science. It was Jan calling that clinic every other month. The technology is extraordinary, but the human who refuses to stop asking for it, that is the part no lab can build.
And to everyone listening right now, if you are carrying something in your body that the people around you cannot see, the exhaustion, the pain, the quiet fight, you are not imagining it. And the courage to keep asking is not stubbornness. It is the most human thing you can do.
The most human thing.
If this story moved you, hit that like button. Share it with someone who lives with an autoimmune condition and needs to hear what is coming. And if you want one unlock like this 3 times a week in English or Spanish, subscribe. We show up 3 times a week. So do you.
3 times a week.
If your business or your practice is drowning in manual processes that keep you from the work that actually matters, that is exactly what I build. We build AI systems that actually work for you and your team. Visit purpose.ai. It's spelled PV as in voice, not you. RPOSE.ai. And book a free strategy call. Everything you need is in the description.
Excellent idea. Vamos.
Thank you, Sophie, for teaching me that a guard dog can be retrained without burning down the house it was built to protect.
Thank you, Coach Juan, for reminding us that the most powerful clinical trial begins with a phone call and ends with a grandmother who refuses to stop dialing. And Marisol's paintbrushes are still on that windowsill, waiting.
One story at a time. One unlock at a time. See you next time, beautiful humans. Own your voice, your vision, your vibe. Powered by Purpose AI, where humans lead and technology serves. Vamos!